This video is going to show you how to set up a multi-day route using Paddle Planner. And the features shown in this video, you'll have to have either a map enthusiast or higher membership to use these techniques. We're going to start out on the home page here, and I am going to press the Build a Route button to get to the maps. For this video, I'm going to use the Quetico to show how to set up the route. And the Quetico is up here in Ontario. Let's zoom in on an area where I could set up a multi-day route. A multi-day route, I use that generically, meaning this could be a loop or some other form of complicated route. The simple routes are one point to one other point, which you can do for free. But if you want to set up multiple points or do a loop or something like that, you are going to need to have a map enthusiast or higher membership. As with the simple route, let's just zoom in on our first point here. Let's say we're going to start at the Pickerel Lake entry point. So I will click on that. And then I'm going to click on perhaps my first day campsite. Let's say I want to camp on Blueberry Island in Sturgeon, and that is going to calculate for us. It's being just a tad slow for me here, but it will load there. And I want to set that as my first day campsite, or at least somewhere in that area. I might not get that campsite, but I am planning on spending my first night in that area. So let's press Day End. That is going to mark that as a planned campsite on my route. And notice that it circles it. If I take that off, I accidentally right-clicked there. Let's do that again. Press Day End. And I can see that it circled the campsite for me. As opposed to a normal route point, which is the white circle, the circled campsites are where I have specified my campsite is going to be for that day. All right, let's set up a loop now. So let's say the next day I plan to head over to Sturgeon, the lower half of Sturgeon, and then start heading up. So let's click on somewhere along this route to get it going in the right direction. And then I'm going to start heading up Lonely and Walter, and let's say I'm going to spend a night perhaps on Jessie Lake. All right, so let's click on that one. That'll calculate. To set that as an end of day again, I'm going to click on the Day End button. All right, so now that is set as my second day campsite. And I can keep going in this fashion. Let's say I'm going to spend my last day on Pickerel, and I'm just going to try and find the fastest route. And let's go over here to the Pines, and I'll spend my last day there. And again, I'm going to press the Day End button there to mark that as one of my planned campsites. And if I zoom out here, you can see that I have first day, second day, third day. Now the problem here is trying to get out. So if I try clicking on this button over here, my entry point, it's just going to select that point. So how do I get a second point on where I began? If I go over here to the advanced menu, there is this button that says Go Home. What Go Home means is add my first point as my last point in my route as well. So if I click on that, it will now mark it as going home, and you can see if I zoom in here, it has actually put that route in for me. Since it is actually the same route, it's hard to tell which is which here, since, well, it's the exact same route going in and out. But I know that it is over there now as well. Okay, so let's zoom out here, and we can see that we have our entire multi-day route set up. We have day 1, day 2, day 3, and out. I have total times and distances down here. So the entire loop is about 64 miles. And I am showing right now day 1. Why is it showing day 1? The first point here is selected. So the first point in my route is the one that is selected. And that first point is during my first day. If I click on the second day, or this is still the first day, and whichever point I select, that's whichever day it's in. So let's say if I left click again on the second day campsite, notice that it says day 2, and that's my day 2 times. And I can go over here to day 3 and click on that and get the day 3 times. If I click on this bar down here, I can get a breakdown of the entire route broken down by days. And if I zoom out, I can hover over day 1. It kind of slightly highlights it so you can see what day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4 are. The distances are whatever distances you have set up, so imperial versus metric. Right now I have this set up as imperial distances, so that's why it's in miles. So 22.8 miles, 17.7 miles, I can see times. Pretty ambitious trip for me here, 8 hours, 7 hours every day. Doable, especially in the middle of summer, but still a pretty ambitious trip here that I can see. By looking at this day-by-day breakdown, I can see if I have broken off too much in one day or not. And it's a very good way to get an overview of each day. I can also change the settings, so I can very quickly change all of the times and distances to see what it would affect if I, for example, changed from 3 miles per hour to 3.5 miles per hour. So if I'm not an average paddler, maybe I'm a veteran, I go a little bit faster. That will change my distances and times automatically, and it'll do it within seconds. It'll also change all of my day breakdowns as well, so you can see the times there have been adjusted for each day. And let's just explore, what if I single portaged instead of double portaged? Would that change my times, and how significantly would it change them? So you can see here that it significantly changed the times if I can single portage instead of double portage. So very quickly you can get an idea of paddling just a little bit faster, a little bit slower. How does that change each day? How does it change my overall trip? And so it does all of this for you within seconds. The last thing I want to show you is some of you might be irked that this is in miles instead of kilometers. You can easily change that by changing the units from imperial to metric, and that will calculate everything for you here as well. So change it all from miles to kilometers. Should not change the total time, but all of the other stuff that we talked about in prior videos, building a simple route, are still here. So campsites along the route, lakes along the route, portages on the route, and so forth, photos. It's all here. This is just in a multi-day format where you can see at a glance what is my paddling plan and how long is it going to take me each day.